Hi, I'm Nancy Andrews along with Bonnie Stewart for this week at the Capitol. Bonnie, we have less than a month left to go in the session, and legislators had said they wanted to focus on jobs in the economy. Have they done that?
Unfortunately, no, they haven't. They've talked about it, but the measures that have come out actually have a negative impact in terms of our economy and the ability to create jobs in Connecticut. They've passed a number of measures that would increase the cost of health care. They haven't gone through the entire General Assembly, but the Insurance Committee sent out a number of new mandates, all of which increase costs, particularly on small businesses. There have been a number of negative measures that have come out of the Labor Committee regarding mandated paid time off or increasing workers' compensation costs. So overall, no, the legislature has not acted in a manner that would help us where jobs are concerned or our economy as a whole.
And what about the Finance Committee? They passed some anti-business measures recently.
Right, the Finance Committee just had their deadline, and unfortunately, they sent out a number of negative measures. They sent out a bill that would change the corporate tax structure in Connecticut, making it far more confusing and problematic in terms of the state knowing what revenues are coming in and companies understanding what they had to do to comply. So that was a negative. They actually imposed a tax on hospital charges, which drives up the cost of health care, another big negative. And one of the other things you hear employers talk about all the time is the cost of electricity. Yet the Finance Committee passed another measure that instead of allowing us to see our electricity costs drop, will actually maintain them at a much higher level, which is obviously negative. So not good news where the Finance Committee's been concerned this past week.
And I know CBIA will continue to lobby the legislators against these bills. What can businesses do? What should they be doing at this point?
Businesses should be contacting their legislators and letting them know the challenges they face doing business in Connecticut. We hear from our members constantly about the high cost of doing business in Connecticut. And we hear particularly about the cost of energy. We hear particularly about the cost of health care. Yet Finance Committee just raised those. The concerns regarding compliance with our tax structure. But again, the Finance Committee moved to make it more problematic. So people should contact their legislator and let them know that doing business in Connecticut is really a challenge, and that any steps that the legislature takes should be ones that ease the burden on people and businesses.
Okay. And one of the other burdens that we hear a lot about from businesses is DEP permitting. And I understand that there's been some activity with that.
Right. We have good news on that front, where a number of legislators, as well as the governor's task force, has met to try to address some of the concerns people have had regarding permitting. And that's great. We appreciate those efforts. We need them to actually call the bills in the Senate now so that they can be acted upon. And same is true with high school reform. Everyone's trying to look to see that we've got a better education system so that the kids are graduating with the skills they need to either enter the workforce or to go on to higher education. So we'd like to see them move on those measures. We'd also like to see them to do more, because unfortunately those two positives don't outweigh the negatives that are happening. So look at what they're doing. Refocus, send the good bills out, stop the bad bills, and try to move Connecticut forward.
Okay. Thanks, Bonnie.
Thank you.